Something like that.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh, Wilkins, presented by georgiaconstructioncareers.com. We got a lot to talk about today, man. It's going to be a jam-packed show. We got some breaking news at the top of the hour. We got some news I'm revealing on my Twitter in a little bit. So a lot of stuff happening, man. We're going to try to get on North Cobb Christian head coach Matt Jones, talk about the program and kind of feature them a little bit. Hopefully we'll be able to get them on. I really want to talk about the program and get them some exposure and some light. And then we're going to talk about just some basketball news. Second segment, go break down some tape. This one, Toledo, Central Catholic quarterback, plays for JV, only a freshman, showing a lot of big steps from when the last time I seen him, and he was doing his 8th grade film. So he's doing his thing right now. We're going to analyze his tape. We're going to break down Barber from Northgate as well. And then we'll conclude with my top 10 headlines for the weekend. So I'm going to check in with Craig. Anything on the coach yet? Nothing? All right, so let's go and start with breaking news. If anything changes, we'll bring them on. But we're going to start breaking news from his own Twitter handle. Cedar Grove running back Bo Walker. Yes, Bo Walker is announcing his commitment tonight at 7 p.m. So stay locked for that. That will be very fun and entertaining. He announced his top 6 in September. He has it as UCF, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Louisville, and Georgia. That is his top 6 going into this big announcement that he has tonight at 7 p.m. So that is big. I know Georgia was very interested in him as well. They are one of the teams on his top 6. So it'll be interesting to see where this star running back goes. Getting out the way early, and we'll see what kind of happens with him. But we'll keep it going. We got some other news that we're going to talk about. We're going to go ahead and start about the stat leaders in Georgia right now. I want to give these kids some love. They've been doing their thing. This is the top in different categories: passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, etc., etc. So, Brody Hanna. Now, he was on our Standout Performer on Underrated and Overlooked. If you have not seen that, go back and go watch that episode. But Brody Hanna, so far this season, 2,264 yards passing. Aaron Philo continuing to do it again. Doesn't matter what weapons he has, he's going to be able to throw the ball, air it out with the best of them. 2,180 yards for him. Raj Waldrop, who was on our list this past week, 1,880 yards. Elliott Starbaum from McIntosh of Peachtree City, 1,832 yards. Sire Hardaway still, once again, healthy, top 5 in passing, 1,787 yards in the state of Georgia. He is doing his thing. In the rushing yards, you got Jordan Triplett with 1,602 yards for St. Simon's Island. He's doing his thing. Mason Sullins from LCHS of Dahlonega has 1,302 yards. Matthew Fuller of Jessup, Wayne County, has 1,288 yards. You got Jordan McCoy of Tucker, 1,237 yards. So he's doing his thing. And then Janarion Kamaga from Westside Augusta has 1,205 yards. So those are the rushing yards leaders right now. Then you got Ahmed Sawari right now has 1,115 yards for Loganville. Judson Petty of North Murray, Craig has been high on him. 818 yards for him so far this season. London Dolhach from McIntosh is 730 yards. Nye Carr, who recently just committed to Miami, he has 720 yards. Jeremiah Ware from Flowerly Branch has 716 yards so far. Now, total touchdowns, Got Jordan McCoy of Tucker with 21. Joshua Adams of BCA of 21 as well. Mason Sullins of LCHS, we mentioned him earlier, also has 21 touchdowns. Jaden Scott, NC State commit for Stockbridge, has 20 touchdowns. And then Jordan Triplett, who we mentioned earlier, from St. Thomas Island with 19 total touchdowns. Now, tackles leaders right now, you got Darius Wells of Mount Vernon, 97 total tackles already. Peyton Simpson of Fort Oglethorpe has 94 tackles right now. Brayson Brooks, of Lambert has 92. Brandon Rilee of JCHS has 90. And then Joshua Gallagher of Lanier has 88 total tackles right now. All right, a couple more before we wrap up this part. Sacks. Tyler Moore, 13.5 sacks for Luella. He is getting it done. Number 2 is Joshua Harding with 12 from Etowah. You got Cole Funderburk, North Gwinnett with 10 sacks. He's going to be a player to watch for, and one of the games we're going to mention a little bit later on. Jaden Worth of Aquinas has 10 sacks right now. Playing varsity and doing big things right now. Marquacious Wright of Douglas County has 9 sacks. So that defensive line, the rotation and everything, doing their thing. And last but not least, interceptions. You got Shaheed Huckabee of Terrell County with 6. Taylor Ratanaud of SMHS with 6 as well. And you got Dawson Pendergrass of Lafayette with 6. Zamir Hooper of Towers with 5. And then Jermaine Mack with 5 for Glenn Academy. So that's what we got so far. As far as the stat leaders, I'm trying to see if I can get Coach on. Hold on, guys. All right. So that's what I got as far as stat leaders. Want to talk about that segment. Another big thing. Obviously, this is national news, but AJ Diambasta reclassifies to 2025. This broke yesterday. It's a 5-star commit. That was the number 1 recruit in the 2026 class. He's still regarded as the number 1 recruit in the 25 class despite of the reclassification. He announced this decision Wednesday. So this was an interview with CBS Sports HQ. Diambasta said he'll be joining the class of 2025. On his will comes a very busy few months for him. Offers flooding in from Alabama, UConn, Michigan, Texas, LSU, and USC. He is 6'9", 200 pounds, power forward at Prolific Prep in California. Will supplant Cameron Boozer, the son of former NBA star Carlos Boozer, as well as the number 1 player on 247 Sports rankings. One of his high school teammates, another highly coveted player, Tyron Stokes, will become the new number 1 player in the class of 2026 with the move, giving Prolific Prep the number 1 prospect in both 2025 and 2026. They are going to be a problem this year. So got some top players. That would be fun. He also broke out, and his stock has kind of been ascending ever since the Nike EY Bell circuit over the summer, and he's also been with USA Basketball in the FIBA U16 America's Championship. So now he reclassifies. This makes him NBA draft eligible, moving him earlier, so he'll be eligible for the NBA draft in the 2026 instead of 2027, having to wait a whole year. So that completely changes that. Very great news right there. So wanted to highlight that as well. AJ Diambasta reclassifies. All right, I got to get some love. Obviously, we had our standout performers on Tuesday, but I'm going to get some guys, some underrated players, not talked about a lot. They're just absolutely balling. They're doing their thing and things like that. Miles Wilkes, 38 total tackles, 32 solos, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, 11 hurries. Doing his thing right now for his team. He is one of my underrated players that are balling. Next one is Drew defensive end Savon Gatlin, 5 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a defensive touchdown, and a 27-3 victory over Lakeside of Atlanta. So he's doing his thing as well. Then there's Lafayette, defensive end and tight end AJ Thompson, had 10 tackles, a sack, forced fumble, and a touchdown, and a double overtime 34-28 victory to Bremen. Then Lincoln County, you had CJ Cright, linebacker / defensive end. He had 13 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB pressures, 3 receptions for 65 yards, and a touchdown, and a 27-21 victory over Washington Wilkes. And Lumpkin County, QB Cal Faulkner completed 22 of 25 attempts for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns and rushed 9 times for 48 yards and a touchdown in a 56-3 victory over Gilmer. So a big-time game from these players. Wanted to give them a little bit of highlight as well.
Okay, so
all right, one moment.
The ticket office from the Falcons was able to find me. So you got my 2 and the 110, okay? And then they found.
All right, so let's keep going. Before we take a break and get them on, we're gonna go some more football news. Regional Exposure Camp Series is going to kick off November 18th in Charlotte, North Carolina, brought to you by NCSA College Recruiting and Shock Doctor. This was reported by, this was on Trace Hawkins' Twitter, so that will be really entertaining as well. Just a chance to kind of give yourself some exposure, be able to allow yourself to get in front of scouts and be able to kind of do your thing. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. Then you got volleyball. I want to get some love right here. Oconee Volleyball, Coney County doing their thing, outstanding performances. They had a 2-1 victory over Morgan County. So some outstanding performances. Got Bailey Bartlett, 23 kills, .363 hit percentage, 4 aces. Olivia Miller, 12 kills, .476 hit percentage, 5 blocks. Isabel Miller, 50 assists, 22 digs, 3 blocks. Gracie Hobbs, 5 kills. 400 hit percentage, 2 blocks. Addie Eberhardt, 18 digs, 95% in SR. And then Brinley Bartlett, 11 kills, 4 aces. Big time performances for them. Big time win, 2-1 victory for Oconee County Volleyball. Doing some really, really great things. So definitely wanted to give them a shout out. So big time performance from them. All right, so let's keep going. Actually, we just came out with our volleyball rankings recently. Class 7A North Cobb moved up to number 1 after stepping its 17th victory and improving to 36-8 overall. Brookwood fell to Grace in the Area 4 finals, but remains number 8 after previously defeating the Rams 2-0, 3-2, and taking the overall series 2-1. In Class 6A, number 1 Alpharetta remains number 1 after capping a 32-2 regular season, only 2 losses, and stringing together a state best 31-game active win streak. The poll did not shift this week much in 6A. And then 5A, you had number 2 Kell. They're going to take on number 4 Greater Atlanta Christian tonight. So that's a big time game. We want to see some good volleyball. Kell, Greater Atlanta Christian, they got a game also coming up next week as well in football. So GAC rallied for a 2-1 victory over Northview, number 5 Northview, on Tuesday. In Class 4A, Hebron Christian moved up to number 6 after improving to 26-15, moving up to 4-1 in Area 8 behind number 2 ranked Oconee County. Bates County replaced Athens Academy in Class 2A after a 2-1 victory on October 3rd. So that's what we got as far as rankings. If you want to get the latest, go to scoreatl.com. That's what I got for you guys right now. We're going to take a quick short break, thank our sponsors, and we'll see if we can bring on North Cobb Christian's head coach, talk to him for a little bit.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me, can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, guys. Sorry for the delay trying to bring on the head coach from North Cobb Christian, but we're going to bring him on via phone on speaker just to talk to him, want to kind of feature his program. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him on right now. Hey, Coach, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. I appreciate you coming on the show today, Coach. So I know you've been 3 years now in the program. What do you think is the biggest thing you've just learned so far?
Oh, man, everything, really. The biggest thing I've learned probably is just I've learned so much about our school and our community, and it's a great place. It's a small school, kind of in the middle of a bunch of big schools, a bunch of 7A schools, but we're a smaller school. However, I've learned we've got tremendous athletes, tremendous kids. I mean, it's just a fantastic place. So that's probably what I've learned is like that the small schools in Georgia.
Yes, sir.
I'm used to big schools, but the small schools in Georgia are very, very talented, and there's not a ton of drop off really when you're talking about 7A on down. So it's just the number of good players is not quite as many.
Yes, sir. And then talk about kind of building off that 10-2 season in 2022. Coach, you made a second round, had some good success, build off coming off the first round. So just how good was that for a team? And then how was kind of just the offseason building off that 10-2 season and kind of working some things out and getting ready for this year?
Yeah, so our kids, like the coolest thing here, we went 10-2 last year, a great year, matched the best year of what our school had done in the past. And the coolest thing was we got done with that year, and then in the off season around February, March, April, our team came back, our returning team came back hungrier than ever. We just have a ton of kids that just want to work, and we probably pushed them harder than we've ever pushed them, and then they just met that standard in the summer, the spring, the summer, and now into the season. So that's been awesome to see with our kids and everything. Is like they are hungry to do it again. You know, we got to the point where our kids, I mean, I hear them saying like they expect to win every week, and so it's a pretty cool thing. Just our kids are kind of getting used to winning and love it and want to do more of it. So it's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Now, I want to start with your offensive line. Sometimes you don't always get the love, but just how has that unit been for you this year? And did you have any returning starters, and how would you just rate the performance throughout 2023?
Yeah, we really only had one returning O-line starter coming back, and we thought he may have to play D-line. He does a little bit. So we have right now 3 or 4 sophomores and 2 seniors on our offensive line, and they just continue to get better every week. Led by our senior Mills Morris. He's a senior, and he was out last year. He was injured all year, so it's really kind of his first year starting on the offensive line. He started as a sophomore, but then he's just played every single snap this year on both sides of the ball. So they've played well every week. They've just gotten better and better as an O-line. They've learned to work together. We probably had 5 good ones, but now they've learned to work together, and that's key for those guys. So they've gotten better and better every week. So
yes, sir. And then yes, sir. And then you got a young tailback group, and Makai Rowe, who's a freshman, and Denham Stevens, who's a sophomore. So just what have you seen from them this season in terms of just growth and just attacking each day and kind of stepping up big? I mean, it's not easy to do, freshman, sophomore, having these big roles and playing and performing at a high level.
For sure, yeah. So both of them are explosive, awesome. Denham had an incredible summer. I think he maybe missed 1 day all year in the summertime, and it was for a family thing. So it's so cool to see him reap the fruit of kind of his hard work. He's very explosive, and he runs low to the ground. He can cut on a dime. Makai's a little bit different, maybe a little bit bigger, and maybe a little bit different kind of cutter. He cuts moving forward in open space, and so Makai, both of them are great kind of 1-2 punch that feed off one another. And yeah, they're young, so they like literally are kind of the first reps they're getting in live action is this year. So it's cool every week to see them grow and mesh with our O-line. And, you know, run game is all about timing. So they're finally like getting their timing together, and you see it, you know, on some of our big plays lately. They've begun to be able to get on the same page. So that's been awesome for our offense.
Yes, sir. And then I've seen this kid kind of all over Twitter. I've been seeing his plays. Carson Bruce for you. I know he's young, does a lot of things for you. Just what have you seen from him from his freshman year? And he's like your 3rd leading receiver on the team. Just what has he kind of brought to the table?
Yeah, he's a little bit like he plays H for us, so he's a little bit all over the place. He's in the box. He's out wide as a receiver. He's blocking one play. He's, you know, running routes the next. So he's lining up everywhere, motioning, trading, those kind of things. So he's a very smart kid. He knows what to do. He's coachable, hard worker, tremendously hard worker. So he's made some plays in space. He's hard to tackle. The kid, like, you know, he's one of those kids that, like, he just, like, other teams have a hard time tackling him and getting him on the ground. So, and on top of all that, he's a fun kid to coach. He loves football. So.
Yes, sir. And then you got another young guy at the quarterback position. I think people say that's the most important position and the hardest position to kind of play. I mean, he's a freshman, but Teddy's doing his thing. Just what have you seen from him? Like, usually your freshman year as a quarterback, you're going to have your ups and downs, right? You're going to have games you play at a high level. You're going to have games you struggle. Just what have you seen from him in terms of just mindset and perspective and him just taking everything in the offense and playing at a high level?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Teddy's awesome. Not enough good I can say about him. I mean, the best thing about Teddy is, like, he's accepted every challenge we as a coaching staff has put on him. You know, he's a freshman, so a lot of times with a freshman QB, you don't want to put too much on him. But we've been able to put, you know, he's been able to do what a junior and senior could do mentally, and check plays and sides of the field and all the different things that we do in a given play. He does it all, and he's only a 9th grader. So mentally, he's very sharp, studies film. Like, I mean, he's a competitive kid. So he's going to go a long way in playing football, and he's just just getting started. So and then on top of all that, he's just super accurate. That's probably the number one trait of a QB is being accurate, and he's got that. So he's competitive. He wants to win. He gets mad. The greatest thing about Teddy is we could run the ball 10 plays in a row and score a touchdown, or we could pass it 10 plays in a row, and he's just as excited when we score. He's a team kid. Obviously, he loves to throw the ball and loves to compete, but he wants to win above everything else, and that really kind of bleeds into the rest of the team. So it's pretty cool. He's fun one to coach, and just excited about his future.
Yes, sir. He definitely has a bright future. I've definitely been impressed with his tape. Now, Coach, from your perspective, how tough is it to coach a team that's so young, right, at key positions? Like, coming into this year, like, what are some things you just had to harp on to kind of get it through with your guys? And you guys are having a good year. You're 5-2, 3-0 in region play, but just kind of walk us through how it is coaching young guys.
Yeah. Well, for one, I love it. It's exciting because it's kind of like I've always said, the younger the player, the more hungry they are to learn. Scheme and blocking, and they're kind of like sponges. And so so we got a lot of kids that are sponges right now that are kind of soaking up like film sessions after the game and daily practice. They're just sponges. And so the young guys, but we've also got some good senior leaders that are able to add just a ton of value there. So it's pretty exciting. Like, practice every day. I think there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, towards everything that we're doing. Sometimes with an older player, they can maybe you coach them differently. So the freshmen are exciting to get in there and get in the mix with, and just see their eyes light up on a Friday night. They're starting to do things they didn't even realize they could do, and the enthusiasm and the crowd, all that stuff is just new to them. So it's fun, and it just makes it puts a lot of joy in coaching. I'll say that much. Like, it's a tough profession to coach, and it's tough just because it's a grind. But having the young kids, kind of adds a lot of value, and seeing them grow and mature. I'm so excited to see them over the next 4 years, like what happens with them and where they go.
Yes, sir. And then I want to talk about kind of your linebacking core in Spears Martin and BG. How you say his last name? Guerrier?
Guerrier. Yeah, Guerrier. He's going to get mad at me because I say it wrong, but Guerrier, yeah.
Guerrier, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about them. I know they lead you in tackles right now. Just what have you seen from them? Just, getting the film down, knowing their assignments, knowing where to attack defensively, knowing where the coverages are. Just what have you seen from them this year?
Yeah, so BG actually plays D-line for us, but Spears is our Mike linebacker, Mike and Will. He kind of goes in between, and Spears did not play last year. Spears played as a freshman, did not play last year, and then came back out this year as a junior, and he's just been an incredible pickup. He's the definition of a linebacker. Like, he's just the kind of kid he's willing to stick his face in on any tackle. He doesn't back down from anything. He's just kind of your tough physical kid that's going to get after it every play. You can't get him off the field even if he's hurt. He's that kind of kid. He's just making tackles all over the place. And and then BG, I don't know, BG and Ray Dixon are kind of our two big D linemen that are, I don't know if they're leading the county in sacks or they're close, but they're just two studs, man. They are awesome, and they're competitive. Both juniors. Spears is a junior as well, and they just kind of make up the front seven of our defense. They added just an enthusiasm and excitement and for our defense, so it's big time.
Yes, sir. And then now I'm gonna throw this to you, Coach. I always like to ask coaches when they come on my show to highlight players that just kind of underrated, flying under the radar, kind of overlooked. But who would be some of those players in your programs that we haven't talked about today that you would just love to highlight? Just the great work they're doing day in, day out. It could be on the field, it could be in the classroom. Just who are some players you would love to highlight?
Oh man, all of them. So I kind of said one, Ray Dixon. He had a pick six last week that was big for us. He's a junior. I would say Jaden Rivera is a senior corner, safety, wide receiver. He is very underrated from a college prospect standpoint. 5'11", 6 foot, can run, great ball skills. He's a leader, he's good in the classroom. He's just a great kid, and he's a competitive kid, and so he brings a great level of competition every day to practice. So Jaden, and then Will Mosley is a safety running back that he's kind of the same way. They're just good senior leaders. Both of them were elected as team captains, and so they're kids that just, they do things right, which is a joy as a coach to have these kids that not only soak up what you're teaching them football-wise, but also character. They want to live their life the right way. They're going places in life, not just football. So it's fun. It's fun to be around them, and just to see them develop, as young players. They kind of figuring out who they are to now as seniors. They know who they are, and they're making plays on Friday nights. And, so those three guys would be definite, leaders of our team. So.
Yes, sir. Well, appreciate you sharing that, Coach. Always love to give those guys the kind of praise and exposure they deserve. And Coach, I want to move to a game. You guys started off the season 2-0. Close loss to Wesleyan 9-7. Just, I know that was earlier in the season, but just sometimes you had those games early in the season that can kind of jumpstart your group, get you going, and just kind of, help you right the ship and things like that. But just what would you just say about that loss that your group learned and how it's kind of helped you guys for this region play that you got?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're exactly right, man. Like, losing helps sometimes, right? You don't ever want to do it, but sometimes it's all about how you go about after that. We were in the red zone we were inside the 25, I think 5 times that game and scored 1 touchdown.
Wow.
So really took away from that game. Like, turnovers is obviously key. And then obviously being prepared, and the little things. Like, Wesleyan's a good opponent, and they did a lot of little things right that some of our young kids just, we preached to them. But then when you're in the game and you go through it, you finally start to realize, like, every little thing the coach has been teaching us, like, it matters. So, yeah, so that it's kind of like, hey, one little turn in that Wesleyan game is the difference, right? Like, I think they made it on a 4th and 18 or something. They converted to end up kicking a field goal and winning the game like a couple plays later. So that 4th and 18, if we just don't run inside with our defensive end, and we make that tackle, we're fine. It's just it's a difference in the game, and it's one little thing, but the kids begin to see, hey, man, all those little things that we talk about, they add up. So, again, it's just kind of going back to preaching all the things we've been preaching, but then when they go through it and they learn, there's what our coach told me, there's no shortcut to experience. So our kids were able to get that experience and then grow from it. So yeah, I mean, I love playing a good opponent like Wesleyan, right? Like that made us better, and I was excited to play them, and I think it made us better. I hated that we lost, but it was a good learning opportunity, and we've definitely gotten better since then. I think we're a different team, 4 or 5 weeks later.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know I always talk to coaches and always say sometimes it's that one game or that loss that just kind of sticks out and kind of helps your group going. So that's definitely big. But, Coach, what's your thoughts on, obviously, the reclassification, just Class A to Class 3A, just it being, one championship in the playoffs?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of early in the stages of where it's at. It sounds like I don't keep up with it a ton. I think that it's tough. It's tough on privates a little bit to be able to have to play. If you're a smaller private, we're kind of in the middle of those levels. But if we have to play, next year, we have to play a big private, that's going to be tough on us. I don't know that. A lot of times there's not much you can do when you're playing a team that has, twice as many kids as you and twice as many coaches and better support staff. I mean, all those kind of things add up, So, and then, I mean, we're in the middle of the road, man. I'm just thinking about like a small private trying to play a 3A private. Like, that's a big difference. So I think that's tough. I think that's something that GHSA needs to consider is to say, hey, how does that shake out when you got the smallest private playing a big 3A private? And just how's that going to look? Because I don't know the answer. I wish there was a good answer. I think GHSA does a great job. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's maybe some answers you can get some guys in a room and try to figure out a better plan.
Yes, sir, certainly. And then I want to kind of talk about the matchup you got this week. You play in South Atlanta, home game for you. Just in your eyes, what is your team to do? I know you studied some film, but just what do your team need to do to kind of come out there with a win tomorrow night?
We got to tackle their fast guy. They got about 3 guys, number 1, number 2, number 8, that are super fast on offense. And if we can tackle them, that says everything. If we can be in place and and then make the tackle when it's right in front of us to be made. And then offensively, it's just taking care of the football, not turning it over, but also making the plays, in that moment when they're to be made, the red zone or just, third downs will be critical. So, obviously it comes down to turnover margin. I think we're -3 on the year. Last year we were like +9, +10, and that was a big difference last year to us being 10-2. So if we could be, plus every game, I think we got a lot better shot, obviously.
Yes, sir. And then how impressed have you been with kind of your defensive coordinator, PJ Hughes? Works for you for 2 years now. Really enjoys you and how you approach the program and how you coach these kids. Just what have you enjoyed most about that relationship with the DC and just kind of working with him on the defense?
Well, first of all, he's awesome, man. He's really, really just a great coach. He's very well rounded. Like, he knows ball. He can talk ball with the best of them. He understands scheme. He understands how to beat offenses, defenses, those kind of things. So that's key, right, as a coach. And then relationships wise, unbelievable with relationships. He absolutely loves our kids and our community. He gets in the mix with them. He cares about them, and not just football. He brings he's just a great compliment to myself and to the rest of our coaches. He brings this energy every day at practice. So yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about him being a key part of our staff. So he's excited, man. I mean, he's a great. I think we're top 10 in defense last year, and again this year in 2A, and obviously he's a key part of that. And just his emotion every day at practice and passion, and the kids play hard for him because he loves them, and that's key. So.
Yes, sir. Well, 2 more. I'll let you go, Coach. One, I want to talk about just tell me, for those of us that don't know, what does it mean to kind of play for this North Cobb Christian program? Describe for us the community, how it is coming in there every single day, the practices, the fan support, Friday nights. Just describe for us what it's like playing and putting on that uniform for North Cobb Christian.
Oh, man, I could talk for an hour. I don't know how much you got in your show, but it's a special place, man. Like, I think at the end of the day, like, being a Christian school and our faith in God, and that's key, right? Like, we can talk to the kids about Christ, and you see, I love Dion and all that he's doing, and I love the way he talks to his players and his team, and I just think, we have that opportunity as coaches to have a platform, and we can use that platform to glorify God. And in addition to that, we can be great in football, and I think the kids here buy into that vision. They understand, like, they don't want to just be good at football, right? They want to be good academically. They want to be good in relationships with their parents, with their family, with their friends. It's just a place, and it's a place where you're going to come, like, the kids come here all the time, and they're like, man, the teachers really care. The coaches really care. It's a community that really cares. Sometimes you get, and I've been there because I know, like, at a big school, you can kind of get a lot of kids lost in the shuffle, and they get lost in the hallways and on the team, stuff like that. But we're fortunate to be a little bit smaller, and so we can really, like, I know every 5th grade boy and on up. I know their names. I know, their families. They come to our games. I go to their games. So it's just a pretty cool community that I can know, one of those kids, and I can see them develop. And then our other coaches as well, like our high school coaches know all these kids. A lot of programs, you don't really know the kids until they're 10th or 11th grade. But here we get to know them at an early age, and then they begin to, these kids, they really bleed blue, and they really love playing for the Eagles. So it's just a really, really neat place, and I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, Coach, I think you brought up a great point. Just being able to see the talent early and already cultivating and building that relationship at a young age. As you mentioned, Coach, you don't see that a lot, knowing 5th graders, 4th graders, and knowing their parents and just supporting them. So I definitely commend that, Coach.
Yeah, it's an awesome place, man. I mean, it's a cool community. Again, it's like right down the road from these, big 7A schools where there's 3,500 kids, and we really have 450 high schoolers. So it's just neat. You get to know them, and I get to go to their games. I get to go to their performances. You get to see them graduate. I mean, just so many things. I get to know their family, their friends. I mean, it's an awesome community. And I think the kids realize that, and we remind them all the time, like, hey, this is not normal. Like, most kids don't get to go to chapel every week in school. They don't get to have teachers that pray for them and those kind of things. So it's pretty neat.
Yes, sir. And last question, Coach, I'll let you get out of here. Just how special will it be to bring the first ever region title back to North Cobb Christian, to that program, and kind of setting history?
Oh, man, unbelievable. Like, there's been some really good teams here that have not won the region championship. So, and just in the last 5-6 years, there's been some really good teams here that have not won a championship. So to win one is huge. I mean, our kids are excited. They know what's at stake. They are locked in and focused. So I think it's exciting. I think it's almost like one of those things that's a little bit surreal because you work so hard all year for it, and then you get here in this moment, and it's like, it's like we're just going to kind of show up and keep doing what we do, and playing ball and competing. And then, that's kind of my message to them every week is like, just play ball, play one play at a time, and let the chips fall where they may. And our kids do just a great job with that. They buy in. I feel like they're doing a great job with not letting the moment be too big for them, and they just like playing, and they just want to play, like they want to be on the field. And so it's awesome. So yeah, I can't say how big it is. And it's pretty neat that we get a home game this week against a good team. So
yes, sir, certainly. Well, Coach Jones, thank you so much. I'm sorry it didn't work out where I couldn't see your face, but I appreciate you just taking the time, Coach, to come on my platform, come on my show, talk a little bit about your program and North Cobb Christian Eagles, and good luck the rest of the season, Coach.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for what you do for our state and all the players and coaches everywhere. So I appreciate it, man, and you have a good one. You too. Thanks, Coach. All right, guys, so that's head coach Matt Jones. Sorry, guys, I know it was in a different format, but hey, you got the interview. Definitely wanted to talk about their program. They're doing their thing, man. 5-2, 3-0 right now in the region. Big time game against South Atlanta. Then they got Mount Penn Christian and one more region game before they wrap up. But they are definitely in the driver's seat to win the region and win their first ever region title. Got to give Craig some credit there. He pointed that out to me. I did not know that. So good stuff there. We're going to keep going. We're not going to take a break since we took so many before, trying to get them on. We're going to go ahead and jump to the next part of our segment. We're going to talk about Ali Beydoun from Central Catholic of Ohio. Please forgive me. I know it's later in the segment. I know I was going to do 220, but kind of got a little bit sidetracked. But we're going to go ahead and break down this tape right now. All right, so here we go. In the gun. Nice downfield throw right there. Love where he puts the football. Only where receiver can get it. Nice throw. Good rocket arm right there. All right, so right here. Here we go. Top angle right here. Okay, pause it, Craig. Okay. Let me see. I kind of know I paused it for a reason and held it. Okay, Craig, go back a little bit. All right. So, play it and then pause. Play and pause. Okay, so it does a good job right here, kind of holding the safety. He's coming down and guard him. He's going to hit over the middle. So it does a good job right here, kind of making the safety decide, okay, hey, what am I going to do? Hits over the middle of the field. You can roll it, Craig. Nice throw, nice accurate throw, good ball placement. Good job right there. Only one way to see if we can get it on the edge. Here we go right here again. Boom. Can't really see it, but nice throw. You see the receivers, all he's having to do is this right here. He's not having to do too much. Great job right there. Good throw. Right here, same thing. Look where he threw it at. Only where the receiver can get it. Outstretched arms. Nice throw. Good progression right there. Moving to the right. Man, I just love this throw. I'm going to have Craig kind of come back and break this down a little bit as well. I think I did instant replay. Okay, yep. So, pause right there. So, I like the angle. I'm kind of going to the right, but he kind of like goes, sets his feet, and then throws it. So, first off, this is a difficult throw. And the reason it is because he has to get this ball high enough over the defender right there, and it has to go to his receiver. So, it can't be too high, or it's a potential pick. Or if he throws it too low, that's a pick six with the DB right there. So, he has to do a good job of setting down. He's rolling out, setting his feet right here, and then launching the throw only where the receiver can get it high enough where the defender can get it. There's right there. See? He jumps up, only where his receiver can get it. Nice throw out of the pocket. That is not an easy throw, guys. Here's the instant replay. Again, over his head, only where his receiver can get it. Great precision, great accuracy. That's a phenomenal throw. All right, here he is again right here. Boom. He does a good job waiting, hitting his receiver in stride, letting him make a play on the ball. Again, love his pocket movement right there. Boom. Baits the defender right there. Wide open wheel route for the running back. All right, here we go again. Another one of these up top angles.
right here does a good job hitting over the middle of the field. Okay, boom, right here. Okay, so Craig, I'm gonna have you go back. I want to break that down, just the difficulty of this throw again. Okay, so go right here and pause. Okay, so this throw is so good because, one, you're gonna see the safety all the way right there in the red. Now, if he throws this ball too far inside, that's a pick, right? So Ali does a good job right here of throwing it to kind of like his receiver has to adjust, but he threw it to only where receiver can get it. If he throws too far inside, it's either a PBU or interception. So watch him throw to the outer side of his receiver, only where he can get it. And we're going to slow-mo it here for you. Boom. Look where the throw is. Obviously adjust, but look, you make it more difficult for the defender to adjust to the football and make a play on the ball. That's an excellent throw. You don't get much better than that. Phenomenal throw from Ali right there. All right, here he is again. Boom, throwing it deep right there across the middle of the field. Nice throw, got a little bit of pressure. Didn't even matter. Boom, here he is again. Nice throw. Not easy, you know, that's double coverage right there. Still makes it look easy. All right, here he is again. Okay, yep, Craig, I'm going to have you go back and break down this play too because he absolutely fools the defender. Okay, so right about there. Boom. Okay, so what he does right here is great, right? Because he lines up, and you see in the middle of the screen, you're going to see the defender in the red. He has several crossers. It's a great play call too by the OC. He deserves credit for this too. But as so many defenders, what the linebacker does, he messes up. He goes back with the other receiver, but he has his other safety over there that's supposed to be over top and get there too. So he messed up there, but Ali does a good job of selling like he's going to throw to the receiver going across, and then it completely opens up an easy throw right there, bottom, right below it to the receiver where only he can get it. Now watch this. Look at Ali come right here. Look at him look. Bait the defender, boom, wide open touchdown. That is textbook. You don't get much better than that. That is how you bait a defender, throw it to the open area, and get an easy touchdown. Great play right there. Right here, you're just going to see a simple throw across the middle of the field. Nice job right there. Same thing right here. Just 1, 2, 3 step drop, get it out of his hands, accurate ball, easy money. So go back and look at those 3 plays I did. I broke down specifically the one where he's rolling out to the left. Not an easy throw. He's a right-handed passer, rolling out left and throwing it. Has to throw over the top of the defender and has to make sure it's accurate enough for receiver can get it. And then the last one I just showed also of where he's coming and he fools the defender, right? He doesn't stare it down. And that's what I love about this game. He doesn't stare down the receiver. He makes it seem like he disguises where he's going to go with the football, fools the linebacker, and opens up a wide open, easy throw for him. That's reading film. That's knowing your plays. That's staying in your playbook. That's making sure you know where you want to go with the football. Excellent play right there. Hey, man, I'm not going to lie. That progression from year 1 or from 8th grade to now, this is obviously JV football, very, very impressive. I can't wait to see what he does on the varsity level. Bright future as a freshman. He dresses out right now for varsity third-string quarterback. I know he's going to get better and better and better. The kid has a bright future, and he plays on a team that's very competitive and that's very, very good in Central Catholic in Toledo, Ohio. So kid has a bright future. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate you sending me over the film and letting me break it down the midseason or for most of the season so far. I was thoroughly impressed with your film. So keep doing your thing, man. We're going to roll one more tape. We got one more guy we're going to talk about, Northgate quarterback Dylan Barber. Only a sophomore, beat out a senior, having a pretty good season. He transferred over from Heritage School in Noonan over to Northgate. I will say this. It's more of a kind of a run offense excuse me, than the other system he was at. So you're going to see his freshman highlights first where he was throwing the ball a little bit more. This one you'll see some throws. But one thing I do like, though, his dual threat ability. It's not just a passer, but he also can run and set up big plays as well. So you're going to see that. We're going to go ahead and roll this tape. All right, so this is freshman. This is about a minute of highlights right here. Him throwing the ball. Look at the accuracy right there. Only his receiver can get it. Same thing right here. Good job selling that. Go back real quick, Craig. I love the way he sells that. All right. And pause right there. Boom. Look at him sell it, right? like, oh, okay, I'm about to throw this right here. He fools both of those defenders. That opens up the whole play only where the receiver is wide open for the touchdown or for the big play. Look at this. Look at him sell it right there. Boom. Little shimmy shake. And allows the receiver to make a big play. That is textbook. Great job right there. Selling the screen. Turning into a touchdown. Easy play right there. Boom. Here he is again. Look at him step up in the pocket. Nice laser throw right there. Big time completion. Here he is again. Boom. Just love his throwing motion, right? Right there. Accurate over the middle of the field. Here's again. Look at the deep ball right there. Boom. Only where the receiver can get it. Nice and accurate. Pretty much the receiver just going like this. Love to see it right here. Nice jump ball. Boom. Look at the placement. Woo. Next level right there. All right, same thing. Look at him go. Step up in the pocket. Nice deep throw. Boom. Big time play right there. Here he is again. Nice downfield throw. Boom. Only where his receiver can get it. Now, I'm going to pause, Craig. Only thing these next two highlights, guys, you're going to see, and what I liked in his freshman highlights, the ball wasn't fading on them. The ball's kind of fading on them a little bit on the deep ball. So, watch. You're going to see it right here. You can play it, Craig. Watch how the ball kind of fades. And you see how kind of the defender can catch up to it. That's my only knock so far. I mean, freshman year, the highlights were great, but look at this ball kind of fade a little bit. And I'm going to have you go back and play that one more time, just as a teaching lesson. Okay, right there. So, I think he puts too much air on this ball. And the reason I say that is because he has a wide open target, two defenders over the middle right there guarding that receiver. If he just throws a bullet pass right there, you know, instead of throwing it with air and kind of lobbing a little bit, I think that's an even bigger play. Now watch it right here. See how the defender comes up? See, the receiver has to kind of slow down, kind of come back to it a little bit. And here's the instant replay. We slow it down a little bit. Does a good job again. Selling it, good play call. Defender's confused. But see, if he goes and he throws a bullet, instead of having the receiver kind of slow down, I think that's a potential touchdown. That's my only knock. Just freshman, sophomore year. These are just highlights, obviously, but I think just the deep ball. Boom, but look right here. Accurate ball right out on the outer hash. Good throw right there. Boom, under pressure. Nice throw off the run. Accurate only where his receiver can get it. Here we go, pass again. Boom, look at him avoid that defender right there. Nice throw off the run. Easy tutty right there. Good job. All right, here he is again. Deep ball. Boom, good job letting the receiver adjust only where he can get it. Same thing here. You see how the ball kind of flutters a little bit? Okay, boom. And I slowed this one down. Boom. Okay, nice throw right there over the middle. I think I slowed it down for progression. Nice throw. Out of his hands pretty quick. Here he is again. Getting to kind of see the deep ball. Kind of went off screen. Kind of hard to see. I hear he's rolling. Getting out of his hands pretty quick. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Craig, I'm going to have you go back as well. I think this play I wanted to break down a little bit deeper. Pause it right there. Okay, let's see. Okay, play it, pause. Okay, so this is why I wanted to break this down. Okay, so again, the artistry of this throw is great. Why I break it down, you have a defender coming across, middle field linebacker right there kind of coming down. So this throw, if it's too far inside, again, pick six, right? So he has to throw it to where number 7 is on the outer part of his body towards more so of his left side. If it's too far inside, again, it's a pick. So I broke this down, slowed it down to show good throw right here from Barber. Just throwing it to the outer part of his body, being able to get it only where the receiver can get it. Let's roll it, Craig. Boom. You see it right here? Here he comes. So, boom. If that's too far inside, that's a pick. Good job throwing on the outer boundary, letting his receiver make a play on the ball. Phenomenal throw. Right here, getting a nice little just down and out right there. Getting into the receiver's hands. Boom. He's not going down. He's making a big play on the ball. I mean, phenomenal. Boom. Out of his hands quick. Let your receivers and playmakers make a play in the space. Same thing here. Nice little screen pass. 1-2. Out of his hands quickly. Snap the pass. Very, very quick. Okay, now we're going to see the running above. Look at him drop his shoulder right here. Boom. Nice right there. Boom. And this is the part that's really impressed me. Just how mobile and quick it is. Ooh. Look at that move he put on the defender right there. Oh, my goodness. Just shook him out of his shoes. Woo. Boom. Right here, it looks like he goes and sets up the screen right there under duress and pressure. Nice accurate throw. Let your playmaker make a play in space, turn into a big gain. Boom. Love this play right here. Look at this run. Look at this. Whoop. Look at that. Boop. Oh, my goodness. Craig, look at him turn on the Jets, though. And we're going to roll it again. Craig, I want you to see him turn on the Jets right here. Look, look. I don't know what the defender's doing there. Look at him. Oh, can't touch me. Now look at him turn on the Jets right here. Oh, my goodness. That's a quarterback running like that? Yo, that's next level. I mean, he got some moves, man. He got some moves. Here he is again under duress. Look at him use his legs, get the first down. I mean, look, just making moves. And that's the thing. Like, he's not going down. Like, he's going to go try to score. Like every time. He's not looking to go out of bounds. He's looking to drop his shoulder and make a play. Same thing right here. Boom. Under duress, 2 defenders. Don't matter. I'm going to make a move. Oof. I'm going to drag him down. Let me go and get close to the first down. Same thing here. Making a play. Boom. Look at him extend. Look at him use his legs. Look, first down. Easy money play. Same thing right there. Boom. Little read option. Look at him make the play. Freeze the defender right there with a little hesitation. And the last play right here, I believe, just easy tutty right there into the end zone. Easy money. So I think from a progression perspective, he's great. I love the way he runs. I think they should continue to allow him to run more in the offense, more read option. I think he has a great dual threat ability. I like his intermediate to short throws and where he's able to place the football. Some of those are not easy. As you've seen in the one play. Could have been a pick six, but he puts the ball perfectly where only his receiver can get it. Allow him to make a play with the ball. I don't know. Like, I'm about to ask a football expert, like, from freshman to sophomore year, like, what allows kind of the ball, because it seems like it's floating in the air a little bit longer than what it was freshman year, in my opinion. But obviously, I still think the deep ball is accurate. I just think it's in the air too long. So he might have to just take a little bit of air under it. But other than that, that's my only critique. The little bit of air on the ball. Great dual threat ability. Very accurate in short intermediate routes as well. Can get the ball in his hands quickly. Doesn't turn over the ball a lot. Kid has a bright future. Only a sophomore. Already starting over a senior. Beat him out for the job. So he'll only get better, man. It's only going to be time. And I can't wait to see more of his film later on. But great film right there. That's Northgate quarterback Dylan Barber. All that is linked below. Their Twitters, their huddle tape. If you want to go check them out, go check them out. But that is my thoughts on his film. All right, let's keep going before we take a break and then conclude with my headlines for the weekend. We talked about the underrated players. We talked about A.J. Diambasta reclassifying. Let's talk about games of the week. And we've already posted me and Craig's thoughts on the Buford versus Mill Creek matchup. That's on ESPN2. We talked about what to kind of look out for in that game, so go check that out on our YouTube page right now. That's up. But one game I got, you got to keep your eye on, Carver Atlanta versus Sandy Creek. Now, Sandy Creek got some dudes. I'm not going to lie to you. They do. And that running back's a different breed, man. That Amari Latimer, he does cryotherapy. He gets his body back right. He already seems to me like he's a seasoned pro and a veteran as a sophomore. And the reason I say that is because of the steps he takes, the recovery, getting his body right for games on Friday nights. He's already performing and putting himself like he's a professional football player already. And I know it's early, but I think he's doing a great job. 885 yards this season, 11 touchdowns, but he just seems like he gets it at a young age. Already has offers and been blowing up absolutely in recruiting. Miami, Oregon, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Indiana, and way, way, way more. Also got a Georgia offer in there as well. So that's going to be the player to watch in this one. He's been having a great season. Can Carver Atlanta slow down that rushing attack? We've seen that Carver Atlanta is a very physical team. We've seen them kind of be good on the run, but it only takes Amari Latimer one run, man. If he gets one big run, you might as well wrap it. I mean, that's what you see in NFL like a Derrick Henry. You let him get one 20-plus yard run, you're in trouble. So you can stall him all day, but if he gets that one run, you're in trouble. And I think that the same thing is kind of here as well. So we'll see what happens in that one, but I think he's a key player. The next one is Evan Harvey. Just got invited to the Georgia Elite Classic event to compete. Already this season, 8 sacks, a force when rushing the passer. He's somebody I got my eye on, seeing if he can kind of throw off their quarterback, get some pressures, make it difficult, get the ball back to the offense. Those are my 2 players I'm watching for in this one for Sandy Creek. Carver Atlanta, coming off a big-time win. I cannot understate enough. You beat Mundy's Mill 28-0. Yo, they were undefeated. They were brewing with confidence. They beat Jonesboro. That's a big time win for them. That's a confidence builder. And we know how tough the region is, right? You got Carver, you got Cedar Grove, you got Sandy Creek, you got Douglas, Atlanta. It's a tough region. So getting that win, going into this game, a lot of confidence. But matchups, Sandy Creek running game, as I mentioned, versus Carver Atlanta physicality. Carver Atlanta, very physical team. That's going to be interesting to see if they can slow that down. Offensive line versus Sandy Creek defensive line. I mentioned the key player in Evan Harvey to watch for in this one. My next one is Montavious Banks, right, number 10. Had a big-time game in his recent one against Mundy's Mill. 12 for 16, 240 yards, 3 tutties. So I think that's one of his best games as a varsity pro. So can he stack on games from that? Can he have another big game, I think, is the key thing to kind of note in that one. Will he have enough time to throw, right? Or will they kind of mess a little bit with his time and mess a little bit with his rhythm? That's something to kind of watch for, and that's why I highlighted Evan Harvey. That's going to be a big one. We're going to see those are the matchups I got to watch out for in that one. So Sandy Creek, Carver, Atlanta, I'm going to go and do a prediction. I got Sandy Creek coming out on top. That's the game you want to watch for. Now, number 2, as I just mentioned, Buford Mill Creek on ESPN2. Number 5 versus number 25, according to Max Preps. This will be a doozy. As Craig mentioned the other day, Mill Creek is projected to win the region with a 60% chance. That is incredible. I mean, that's not something you think about all day. I mean, this is a Buford team that has beaten Mallard Creek. They've beaten St. Francis Academy. They've played probably one of the tougher non-region schedules in the country. And they're still projected to lose in the region. Now, I know that probably doesn't mean nothing to them, which it shouldn't. In the Buford way and in the Appling way, I know they don't care about that kind of stuff, and they're going to come ball. But I just think that was interesting to kind of see that. And I'm not going to lie. I'll call myself out on this. I did not expect Mill Creek to be back in this spot, especially after losing so much talent, right? They didn't have Jamal Anderson, right? They didn't have Caleb Downs. They didn't have Hayden Clark anymore. They didn't have the 2 receivers that were really elite. So I thought they were going to take a step back, but they didn't. So I called myself out on that. But this is the second year in a row this matchup is televised. Last year, I think it was on GPB. This year, it's on ESPN2, right? 2 undefeated teams, 6-0 versus 6-0. So I think it's going to be a big game. So a couple of my X factors. Cam Robinson. And what I'm so excited to see is, will it have an effect, Craig, similar to what we saw with Justice Savage? We saw him absolutely kind of blow up with Indiana offer. I don't think Cam has a significant Power 5 offer. Correct me if I'm wrong. The kid can play, right? Like, absolutely, the kid can play. He's had over 200-yard rushing games. He balled out in a Corky Kell Classic, won Corky Kell Player of the Game, with a great performance in Week 1. So will he be able to continue this great play? He's going to be crucial, right? I think if they can feed him a lot, I think you want to have him around 25, 30 carries this game. Lean on him a little bit. If he can have a big game, Mill Creek got like a chance. And you're home this year. You're not in Buford. You're not going to be playing the Wolves in their stadium. You're going to be at Mill Creek at your stadium. So he's one of them. The next one, Shane Throgmorton. That is my X factor. And I think he's such a key part of this game. And the reason I do is because when they start lowering that box and they start coming down, we know how elite their front 7 and their linebackers are, right? Montrez Walker, Jaden Parlati. Defensive line wise, I don't know if Education's going to play. We seen him go down in their game when they played Marietta, but he still got Bryce Perry right. Dominant front, Nick Maggio. So when they're coming down and they're stacking the box and they're making it difficult for you and they're making you throw, can those receivers win on the outside? Can Trajan Greco, which we know how elite he is, can he win on the outside? Can Justin Content win on the outside? Jaden Patterson. So I think if Throgmorton, and he doesn't need to come in this game and have a 300, 400-yard game for them to win. If he can have a 150 to 200-yard game and a couple of touchdowns, a couple of scores, I think they got a chance. And I think you got to try to win against the secondary. Now, we know KJ Boulder mans that front. We know how elite he is at the safety position. But if they can win against their corners on the outside and they got the running game going with Cam Robinson, they got a good chance as any to win this game. So those are my key factors for that. Now, for Buford, the key is the defensive front, right? They're going to have to be able to get after the quarterback. If they in this game, if they have about 5 to 6 sacks, I think you pretty much know how the game's going. If they get between that, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, I mean, you got to like what you're doing. You got to be able to throw off the timing for Mill Creek. You got to be able to make Cam Robinson feel you before he even gets a yard, right? You got to be in the backfield. You know, you got to be hitting him constantly. That is, I think, the key to the game. Can they kind of disrupt? We've seen how elite it's been. They've pitched shutouts. I think they held Mallard Creek to 7 points. They shut out St. Francis Academy. They held Marietta to 3 points. We know how elite of a defense that is. So I think the defensive front is where it starts and stops for Buford. And then the good news is, Justin Baker's back. In his latest game, the running back, the 4-star running back, he had 8 carries for 85 yards and I think a touchdown against Collins Hill. So he's back. So I think that helps them establish the rhythm, right? They don't have to be as, dominant on the run. On the passing game with Dylan Raiola, right? Obviously, he can do it. He's a 5-star and top player in the country for a reason. But then you establish the rhythm. You kind of get the defense off balance. You've got a balanced attack for you. So he's my X factor. If he can have between about 13 to 15 touches in this one, and then you got the great players offensively that play both sides of the ball, KJ Bolden, Tashawn White, leaning on them on the outside, getting the ball in their hands, you kind of throw it off, Mill Creek's defense. So I think they are going to be the key in this game and for them to have success. So we will see, can Mill Creek neutralize kind of Baker and make that running game tough and obviously make Buford a passing team. They can do it, obviously, but I think balance is the best way to go. So those are my X factors for the game, what to watch for. My prediction, I got Mill Creek. I'm going with the home team, the upset, I guess you can call it. They're home. I think they're going to feel in the crowd. I think they're going to have a big game. I think Cam Robinson has his coming out party. We already know how great he is, but he'll be able to put this film on ESPN, be able to use it, be able to send it to coaches. My size don't matter. This is how good I am. So hope he has a good game, but that's what I'm rolling with. Mill Creek to win that one. Now, last game I'm going to talk about before we go to break and close out the show. Peachtree Ridge versus North Gwinnett. Got to talk about this one. As Craig pointed out yesterday, projection has Norcross and North Gwinnett projected to win the region. But you know what? I've said it all year. I've stood on it. I stand on business, and I got Peachtree Ridge still winning the region. Yes. I think they have the team to be dangerous. And I've mentioned a couple of different programs with 2027s and 2026 classes that can be great. Ridge is another team in the 2026 class that has some really good players. Ridge is off to one of the best starts in program history. Got a lot of young emerging talent and difference makers. I believe in Darnell Kelly. I think he's a difference maker. And what was so cool is we've seen him kind of blow up. I got to see him early in our 7-on-7 event at Georgia Tech, and I was impressed. Like, he was just slinging the rock. He was slinging the ball, and that's translated to the season. I'm glad he's been able to start since day one, and their offense is rolling. So I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. Some of the key playmakers this year, Miles Abernathy, 8 touchdowns, Tyon Cofield, and Lamar White. So getting the ball to them in space and the playmakers, allow them to do their thing, I think that would be huge. Now, defensively, Ridge has been very stout this year as well. Besides the competitive game against Lanier, where they gave up 36 points and Chase Jamison had a really, really good game, the rest of the games, the Lions have held their opponents under 15 points. Every game. You go look it up on Max Preps. You go look it up anywhere. Every game since Lanier, they've held their opponent under 15 points. So it's not just the offense that's been performing. The defense has been performing well as well. So they've been getting it done. They're getting the ball back to the offense. And listen to this stat. 14 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles already this year. That's getting it done. So not only do they stop you, they get turnovers and they get the ball back to Darnell Kelly and co. and the offense and let them do their thing. So, again, you need all your units to be performing well. It can't just be offense, offense, offense. When you get in those big games and you get in those late games in region play in the playoffs, you need your defense to make plays for you too. Obviously, the defense has shown that they can do that. So that's been a key for them as well. North Gwinnett been good all season, right? 5-2, giving teams some problems this year. Their last 3 games, peep this. This is why it's going to be such an entertaining matchup. 45.3 points per game they're averaging over the last 3 games, right? Ryan Hall looks like he's taking a step forward, gotten even better in his junior season. Got to see him as a sophomore. He was balling out, played really well in the Corky Kell class that they had played last year, I think against McEachern. He had a big game. Him and Julian Waters have balled out. So I think the whole perspective of it all is Ryan Hall was going through a little bit of a, kind of just the ups and downs, right? And that's what you see your freshman, sophomore year. You have ups and downs as a quarterback, right? He's slinging it well. He has some good games. Some games he have a couple interceptions. But this year, listen to this. 1 interception, he has 15 touchdown passes. Nobody's talking about him. But he's having a phenomenal year for North Gwinnett. And Hall is also their second leading rusher behind Julian Walters. He's 463 yards rushing this year and 6 touchdowns. So not only can you throw it and get the ball to the playmakers that they got, Eric Ronning and others, but he can also run and run the read option really well. So he's a threat also in the running game as well. So I mean, he could do a lot, man. So Ryan Hall in this game, he's my X factor. If he can have another big game, protect the football, continue to show the progression he's taking forward, I think they got a good chance as any. So very good for them. Definitely a plus. And the X factor on defense, as I mentioned, is one of my players, the standout players, Cole Funderburk, stat leaders, 10 sacks this season, right? This is a game, if you're North Gwinnett, you got to make Darnell Kelly feel uncomfortable if you're going to have a chance, right? You got to get him on the ground, right? You got to get him off his spot. You got to disrupt his timing. Cole Funderburk is one of those players, right? Obviously, we know they got a stud in the secondary, Chandler Jordan, but I think you got to let Cole Funderburk do his thing. And if he has a disruptive game, 2 sacks, turnover, fumble, forced fumble, he's an X factor for them on defense. So those are my X factors. Offensively, Darnell Kelly. Defensively, the whole defense for Peachtree Ridge. I think Dorian Barney is going to be key. For North Gwinnett, Ryan Hall, right? How good will he be in this game? Will he continue to have that great junior season that he's having? And then defensively, Cole Funderburk. Can he disrupt that offensive line for Peachtree Ridge? Has been excellent all season. Nonetheless, it is prediction time. I'm rolling with Peachtree Ridge with a major victory. I think they're going to show that they're here to stay. They're here to come for that region title and have that #1 seed and host a couple playoff games. So that's what I got for there. We're going to do one quick short break and be back on the other side, conclude with top 10 headlines for the weekend.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for sticking with me for the show. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here with these top 10 headlines. I know Craig got a lot to do, so let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Top 10 headlines for the weekend. At least I made him smile. Number 1, Corky Kell Basketball matchups have been announced. Go to scoreatl.com. This is also presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Top 10 headlines for the weekend. Brookwood versus River Ridge girls. I picked that matchup personally. You can't get much better than that, right? You got Sophia Pearl, who's been balling out. I'm going to mention her a little bit as another one of my headlines. And then you got Danielle Oshu as well. Those two going against each other. I said it last year. Top 5, or I think the best starting 5 they had last year, I think in the country, as far as the girls' side goes. They had so many players they could go to. Kayla Cleveland. They had Sophia Pearl. They had so many players. Where you get to see that on TV, on Peachtree Sports Network. That's going to be a lot of fun. Those two going at each other. Brookwood won their first ever title in program history. River Ridge just did the same thing. Their head coach does a great job. That will be a lot of fun. Next matchup, Norcross girls versus Baldwin girls. Also picked this matchup. Baldwin girls made it all the way to the state championship, lost to Griffin, 53-49. Norcross lost to Brookwood in the championship as well. Two great teams looking to kind of, set it for next year. Got some really good players. Got good players returning. Two phenomenal coaches. I think you don't get much better than that as far as the girls. The boys I didn't pick, but West Forsyth versus Lanier. That is the boys. That'll be a matchup. Both teams been performing well. Lanier, I think, made it all the way to the semifinals last year, or to the quarterfinals last year. West Forsyth has made back-to-back playoff appearances recently, so that'll be an entertaining matchup. And then Norcross boys versus Douglas Atlanta boys. You know how good Norcross is as a program. All the NBA talent they've had come through there. Alfred Rukaminu, Jeremy Lamb, Ghani Laylaw, Jody Meeks. We know how good of a program that's always been, top tier. They gave us so many thrillers last year, Norcross did, playing against Newton, winning that game in overtime, buzzer beater, don't get much better than that. Then also you had them playing against Cherokee, losing in overtime. I think that matchup with them, if they would have won and beat them and played against Willer, would have been electric as well. But great time program. That's going to be fun. Douglas Atlanta, same thing. Really great team. Made it all the way to the semis. They lost to Cedar Grove So we'll see how they look, and that's the matchups that we got. All right, so go to Score ATL to get more insight on that. Number 2, Prince Avenue Christian Girls Softball finishes the regular season undefeated at 30-0. They are rated as high as number 19 team nationally according to Max Preps, one of the best teams in the country. They should win it all. I got them winning state in their classification. No disrespect to anybody else. Their latest win, got to get some love to Audrey Vandergriff. She was 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, and a home run against Jasper. That's getting it done, 30-0, winning the region championship, getting it ready for the playoffs. Number 3, Jalewis Solomon decommits from Auburn. I think a big-time decision looming. I think he's going to take his time on this one. I'm pretty sure. Having a great season right now for Schley County. 28 catches, 588 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Curious to see where this 4-star and phenomenal talent will go. Him, obviously, and Zayden Walker, some of those key players for Schley County. Big-time decommitment. Let's see where he goes. Now, number 4. Top 5 scoring offenses in the state of Georgia. 46.9. You got Rome, 45.4 is Carrollton, 44.4 Hiram, 42.8 Treon, and 41.1 North Murray. That's the team Justin Petty plays for. See why the offense is so good. But I think what's interesting is Hiram this week, they're going to play Cartersville. Can Cartersville slow down that high-powered attack? And can they kind of hold them off? That's a big-time region game. I think if you're Cartersville, you win that, you pretty much put a stranglehold on the classification on the region. So let's see if they can come out on top. That game will be featured on GPB, so that'll be a fun one between those two programs. We got to see Calhoun earlier. We seen Cartersville last week, so that would be an entertaining game. Now I mentioned her earlier, Sophia Pearl. She was just recently named Sandy Spill's MVP. She just averaged 17.4 points per game, and she just made 18 3-pointers in his fall league. The reason I bring her up is, once again, she's going to be featured in our Corky Kell Basketball. This is why the game is going to be so exciting. She's one of the best talents, I think, in the country. She continues to show how great she is. It's going to be so fun to see her in person. So I think that's a top headline, her winning the MVP, averaging 17 points a game with 18 3-pointers. She is the real deal. All right, number 6, Katie Filan, named Region 4 7-8 Player of the Year, plays for Brookwood. Big-time player for them. Does it on and off the court in volleyball. Big time thing. Just want to give her a shout out for doing her thing at Brookwood in athletics for volleyball. That is big time. Not easy to win the Region Player of the Year. She's doing her thing, so I want to give her a shout out. Number 7, back-to-back region champions. The Lady Canes of Cartersville defeated Calhoun on a walk-off home run by freshman Zoe Shiflett in the bottom of the 10th inning. The final score in that game was 11-10. Big time result right there. Back-to-back region champions for them, beating Calhoun on a walk-off home run by a freshman. You don't get much better and more exciting than that. A lot of fun right there. All right, number 8, got the Peach State Explosion in Athens, November 20th for basketball. Major time matchups: White County versus Peach County, White County versus Heritage Noonan, Cedar versus Heritage Noonan, girls, and then Cedar versus Padea as well. So a doubleheader for boys and girls. That would be a lot of fun. Came up on, let me see. This is announced by Coach Justin Stevens. Peach State Explosion. That will be day 2. Will be a lot of fun. We'll be in Athens. Some big-time matchups there. Now, number 9. I don't do this often, but I have to give some love to a kicker. His name is Jonathan Rodriguez. Plays for McEachern. I know we had highlighted this matchup, Craig, McEachern and Harrison last week. Peep this, Craig. He's a 5-star kicker, rated as high as number 3 in the country. He hit a 47-yard game-winning field goal against Harrison to lift him to a pivotal win. Now, we've seen this past week kind of how important that is. It's not easy. We obviously seen, kick get blocked and things like that. So, game on the line, ice in your veins, and you nail a 47-yard as a high schooler. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So, wanted to give him credit and some praise. That is not easy to do. So, shout out to Jonathan Rodriguez for hitting that big-time game winner and keeping McEachern, obviously a tough kind of start to the season and not a region play, but they're looking as a good team as any in a region play, and they have been beating big-time teams, building off that momentum. Just beat Harrison. They beat Valdosta, a really good team down south the week before. They're brewing with a lot of energy, so we'll see how they turn out this week, but I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Rodriguez. All right, number 10 to conclude the show. North Oconee to host the 5th annual North Oconee MLK Classic Monday, January 15th. Matchups include Prince Avenue Christian versus Bethlehem Christian, Loganville Christian versus Trinity Christian, Social Circle versus George Walton, Athens Academy versus Mount Zion Jonesboro, Morgan County versus Lambert, and North Oconee versus Forsyth Central. So that's all I got for you guys. That's the top 10 headlines for the weekend presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Very jam-packed. We will see you guys tomorrow. Craig will have on Harrison's head coach to talk a little bit, get some insight before the matchup against North Paulding tomorrow. Keep it locked for that tomorrow, streaming at noon. I have a big announcement dropping here very shortly, so stay tuned to my Twitter if you're watching. We'll see you guys next Thursday back here at 2 p.m. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great weekend. Peace.